A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey app.
High noon and welcome in. My name is Mitch Nellis. Tommy Home Depot Words. Mason, all I do is Dad Crosby. We are here for your listening therapeutic session. We are here to talk to you, Packers fans, about the nonsensical ways this season has devolved over the last 3 weeks. We are here for you. Happy holidays, Mr. Crosby.
We are. Yeah. You know, these Saturday night games are a little tough. Gives you an extra day, kind of process through, watch all these other games, wondering what could have been, could they have been better speed bumps for Derrick Henry? I don't know if some of these guys could have just maybe fallen down and tripped him up a little bit more. I'm doing what I did last week, and I think I'm just a glutton for punishment. But even in this holiday season, I feel like in the holidays I should be, seeking joy and doing all these fun things. But I'm rewatching the game as we're going, and I mean I'm watching it. It's early on. Dobbs just has an amazing catch. I'm like, all right, we got Romeo Dobbs. Malik Willis is taking this thing over. There were some real positives in that game, but it's just this team it's fallen off here. And can we blame it all on Micah Parsons? Like his injury? Is that what we're going to blame this on? Like, we're going to dive deep, and we want to hear all your questions. I do want to wish everyone, obviously I hope everyone had a great Christmas. I feel like it's been a long time since I've we've been on the air and been able to talk to everybody. And then I got a couple days off around New Year's, but we're going to dive in deep. We're going to get prepared for this last regular season game. And, we're in the dance. This team is going to the playoffs. There is hope on the horizon, whether we believe there is or not.
Mason, if the season were to end today, it would be the number 7 seed Green Bay Packers at the number 2 seed Chicago Bears. Round 3, ding, ding. Let's go.
Yeah. I want to know, because you've talked about your round 3. Yeah, your 3 games against the same team. How do you feel about that matchup? I know my opinion. I would rather them go to Chicago than Chicago lay an egg next weekend and then Philly win and have to go play in Philly. That looks like a tough test. So what's your feeling on that?
I tend to agree, just because I think Chicago is still I think Chicago's getting better, and I think Chicago will be formidable over the next few years. But I think if you're looking to get a win in the playoffs this year, I think going to Chicago is easier than going to Philly. We've got plenty of time this week to get to that matchup and that talk, but we've got to break down what happened Saturday night. We've got to break down just how phenomenally inept the run defense was. And beyond that, just the effort. Mason, you've taught us something really important on the Mason Crosby Show. For those of you who are trying to chime in, 414-677-1250 is the phone number. It's also the text line. Nikolai Law, talking text line, 414-677-1250. Mason, you've taught us something very important. It's those 3 things that you can control, right? Mm-hmm. And that's effort, it's attitude, and it's, what's the other E?
Energy.
Energy. Thank you.
Energy.
I want to start there. We could talk about Rashawn Gary.
And that's positive or negative, unfortunately, the energy side of it, right? All those things can go both ways.
So when you were watching the game and now you're watching it again, what did you think? How did the Packers control the controllables?
That's a great question, because I was watching that first drive of the Baltimore Ravens, and this is the first drive of the game. And there are guys jogging behind the play as Derrick Henry's still running over people and still trying to get extra yards. I cannot believe they are not demanding from these players to turn and run and give max effort. And then if you need a blow, get off the field. Yes. I first series of the game, to not be chasing at full speed just blows my mind. And that's something that I've noticed with this team over the course of this season. It just feels like, I don't know if it was early on where, we had the comments of like, we could go undefeated or we made it. Like if there was this mentality of, oh man, we're good. We know we're good. And then you kind of rest on some of those real, like those details that make you great, that make you the team that relentlessly pursues to the ball, that will literally just like fight and claw and scratch to get your hands on a running back or, make a play. It just, in that game against the Ravens, especially in the run game, it was from the offensive line of the Baltimore Ravens and then Derrick Henry, where it just literally looked like they wanted it more. They pushed our guys around, and you didn't have guys like fighting for their life to go and try to make a play.
Well, and we look at the Baltimore Ravens in a way, Mason, where it's like, all right, well, they were fighting for their playoff lives. So they came out with a different energy. Well, I don't know that I buy that, because the Packers, while not fighting for their playoff lives, were fighting for positioning and seeding. And it's like yesterday, we didn't see the Steelers fighting for their playoff lives. Like they don't want any. You think they watched the game Saturday night and wanted any piece of the Ravens? And like,
exactly.
it's not so easy to say, oh, well, the team that needs it more is going to come out with more effort and energy. They're going to beat the other
harder.
team. Right. Like the Packers should have been able to match energy. They should have been able to match effort. And I don't know if that's players. I don't know if that's culture. I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know if it's general manager, again, culture and overall thinking of how you build an organization. But something looks amiss.
Well, can you blame injuries? I mean, the Ravens without Lamar Jackson ran for 300 yards. Like, I mean, they went off. So it's like, okay, you can't blame injuries in that game. They were without their best player. Obviously, the Packers have a lot, but like at the same time, that's the NFL. That's the job, is to next man up, step up, and who's going to fill that void. If you think about it now, obviously no crystal ball. Packers win that game. Bears lost. Everything that we had talked about last week would be sitting right here in front of you, where those Lions like to spoil, postseason, stuff. And they want to, They would go out there. And I think that game is going to be tough against the Lions and Bears, regardless of what the situation is. So what happened? It's just like these last 3 weeks. From the Denver Broncos, and I know Tommy has an opinion about where he kind of lost hope. Maybe didn't talk about it a lot, but it's Micah Parsons. Denver Bronco loss, it starts slipping, and then it's like you get a lead on the Bears, and then you let that one go away, and then you just get hammered by the Baltimore Ravens. That's what concerns me, is this progression now of like they're not playing good ball, and now we should be kind of concerned, especially at home. I mean. LaFleur at home now, like in this team under LaFleur, recency bias, they have not been great at home. It's not like they're not dominating at home the way that we expect the Green Bay Packers to dominate at home.
414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Talking text line. Give us a call or shoot us a message. Tommy, I know you are chomping at the bit. You've got like a million thoughts swirling around that big brain of yours. Lay it on us, Mr. T-Dub.
On August 1st, let's say.
Okay, I'm checking my calendar.
All right.
The Packers were shot in the chest on August 1st. On August 28th, they decided, let's put a Band-Aid on this bullet hole and trade for Micah Parsons. Then they get to Denver, and the Band-Aid falls off, and they have bled out. And that's exactly what has happened to this Packers team right now. And it's not.
So you think that throat cut happened in Denver? We talked about it last week, death by 1,000 cuts, but it had already been. Now they're just the dead bodies just getting cut up.
And they have been cut 1,001, 1,002.
So now it's just getting sliced.
They
everywhere.
just continue to get stabbed at this point. And I think that I wanted to remain optimistic, but you cannot.
We all did, right?
You cannot see these last two games and not realize how much duct tape Micah Parsons was responsible for. He fixed everything. And there is a long list of personnel to be upset at. There is a long list of coaching to be upset at. But quite frankly, Cornerback was severely misevaluated. The offensive line was severely misevaluated. And maybe the second best player on their offense is their backup quarterback, who doesn't get to play every week too right now.
Gosh, you just had to throw it back out. You wanted to get that
right
going.
Away.
You wanted to get that going.
I'm just saying that, you know me. Me and Mitch were very vocal on, I don't want to hear about Malik Willis all year.
Yes.
I don't want to hear about him. He's not a part of the plan. Well, he's still not a part of the plan, but oh my God, who else is? Christian Watson, stud, looks great too.
Yep.
It's probably hyperbole to say Malik Willis is the second best player on the offense.
Sure.
But I really
whenever he gets his opportunity,
I'm listening.
Whenever he steps in, he is like in that game, he was the best player on that offense.
Yes.
Like for sure. Without Malik Willis, that was going to be a blowout. Like if he didn't play the way he played for 3 quarters there, that game was going to get way out of hand.
That game was the worst case scenario for Green Bay Packers fans and the Green Bay Packers in general. Number one, Malik Willis looks awesome and continues to show that he will not be a member of this team next year. And
True.
I think we all knew that going into the game, but it sure felt like Matt LaFleur put on a showcase game for Malik Willis. It was like, let's see if we can get him a job next year. Did you guys notice that Malik Willis is running the offense? He's the quarterback. And for the first time ever, that jet sweep doesn't get called. For the first time ever. Like, all of a sudden, he gets way more creative, and he's ready to open it up and get guys the football when Malik Willis is there. But when it's Jordan Love, let's waste 2 plays a game on giving it to Matthew Golden or Savion Williams every time. Like, the first time all year that they're not running that stupid play, and it's when their backup quarterback is in.
Vietran writes in right away on YouTube, Malik is the quarterback that fits LaFleur's system.
No, I think that's a problem, and I think that should showcase that Matt LaFleur does not fit the Packers system. He does not fit it. If he is able to
Matt
get
LaFleur the problem?
more out of Malik Willis than he can out of Jordan Love, that is not a positive for Matt LaFleur.
Does that mean that LaFleur calls something like whenever Aaron was there, his first 3 years, right? Like, did he call that Aaron had the ability to adjust to? Right, like
Aaron called his own game. Aaron called his own game, right?
Thing, right? Like not all the time, but a lot of the time. And then now Malik, it's like the plays LaFleur wants to call fit Malik. Like watching that 49ers game last night, and like the Shanahan type offense and stuff. I mean, like think about like the fullback. What's his name? Juice check. Yeah. I mean, he's going in motion. They're doing counters. Like they're moving all over. Brock Purdy can run. Like he can actually, he can make some stuff happen with his legs. Jordan Love can run, but it just feels like Matt LaFleur doesn't he doesn't open the playbook up for Jordan Love.
Yeah.
Like I feel like Jordan could do some of these things, and he did when they were winning some games where it was like he'd get on the edge and he'd find a way to get, a few yards with his leg, pick up a first down, things like that. But I was watching games yesterday, and it's the Josh Allens, the Brock Purdys, even Caleb Williams, Trevor Lawrence, guys that just literally can extend plays, and like they are the reason their team has a chance to win. Like Jordan Love, I think Jordan Love has some of that in him, but I don't think LaFleur allows him to do it, and he allows Malik Willis to do it more.
I was just going to ask, do you think Jordan Love has been told not to do that? Do you think he's been told to stay in the pocket and use his arm? And yes, you don't want to get sacked, but it's not your job to scramble. It's your job to get the ball downfield with your arm.
Well, and on top of this is the first game all season the Packers got beat. Like this is the first time you can say that about pretty much all the other games. You can kind of say the Packers beat themselves and they're the only team that can beat the Packers. Hell no, they got stomped by Baltimore. The entire game, they did not capitalize on any opportunities that felt like you could take over the game in the moment. I mean, dude, like let's compliment Sean Ryan for the last few weeks, and then it's and he snaps it. Like, gosh, brutal that game, brutal.
And I'm trying to be like issues.
There were issues the whole game.
Is that having Malik? No, Malik Willis has been in the game, and like that's just a normal call. You're at home, mind you. Like it shouldn't be confusing whenever you call can that you're not snapping the ball. Like
so frustrating.
It's those little things, and they snowball with this team, right? It's like it was that, and then like something else happened, and it was like a false start, and then a illegal formation.
Well,
and like it's just like, what is going on?
You want to talk about another Band-Aid on a bullet hole with this team? On play two, you had 12 men on the field. On play 3, you have a false start so bad it hits your right guard on the snap, and then play 4, touchdown. They were not ready for that game. They were not. They came out confused, and 2 amazing plays on play 1 and play 4 saved them from that thought earlier in the game as well.
You're absolutely right. Brian in Maguanago, 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. Shoot your texts in. We've got more messages coming in on YouTube as well. Get your text messages in, 414-677-1250. What the heck is going on out there? I don't know if any of us have the real answer. Brian, go ahead.
I got 2 comments. One on the Bears. Saying the Bears are getting better is like walking to work and now you got a car. If you look at the Bears schedule this year, they won 3 games by the other teams missing the field goal. They played the Packers and they're decimated by injuries. They played the 49er defense, decimated by injuries. They're just in that golden stretch like every team seems to go through every 5 or 10 years. They're just at the right place at the right time. That's going to fade. Their quarterback just cannot consistently hit the ball. He'll the most amazing pass and then miss a guy wide open with nobody within 10 yards. So there's a lot of improvement. The problem I have with the Packers is when you listen to Jordan Love, can, I swear he's already preparing to go to Cancun or something. You hear can all the time. The problem, what I had aggravated about that game, did you see those 2 big plays in the game where Henry pushed Happy Valentine back at least 10 yards? Yeah. He looked like he was frightened, like he was the deer in the headlights. He just pushed him with like no effort, and he flew back 10 yards.
Unfortunately, that's what's
going to happen in that matchup.
Derrick Henry does that to everyone. So, like, I'm not even saying
he
looked
scared. He looked scared.
I'm not saying this team, like, Derrick Henry doesn't do this to other teams, but I agree with you. I think that this team didn't look like they wanted to go and do the tough work, right? Like they were just a little soft going in to try to hit Derrick Henry. You have to you got to take the punishment when Derrick Henry's involved. And times when we stopped him when he was on the Titans, guys were flying in, just hitting legs just as much as possible. But yeah, I think what you're looking for right here is that this team is not very tough all around.
Thanks for the call there, Brian. Let's go to CB, Brian. Downtown Milwaukee. CB, you're on the Mason Crosby Show.
What's going on, man?
What's up?
We're just
not the Packers, that's for sure.
I told Kuhn I called in a couple of weeks ago, and I told them they was gonna go 0-3, and so far I've been right. So, But here's the problem: it's just that defense, and everybody want to blame to get on the offense. The offense scores points. Defense is what we're talking about. Then on top of that, you got to blame Goody for all these pickups that he brought in, and not really adequate backups and things of that sort. And my last thing, I know people probably gonna freak out, but I think it's time for Josh Jacobs to move on.
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that during the CB. Keep listening to the show today because that is on our list of topics today.
Because we need a home run hitter, and he ain't it no more.
Yeah.
All right. CB, thanks for the call. That's a tease. That's a tease right there, Tommy. You feeling that?
Yeah, big
set
tease.
us up.
Yeah.
John in Franklin on line 1. You're on the Mason Crosby Show. John, how we doing today?
Not the best. I appreciate it.
Your honesty.
Yeah,
your honesty.
Yeah.
John.
Thanks for keeping
John
it real.
And I go way back in the morning, so I always have to ask at least.
Yeah, you do.
We do go way back. Let me tell you something. I was embarrassed watching that performance by our defense for a majority of that game. That's what I was texting my buddies. I'm like, this is embarrassing. I mean, this guy isn't just running on us.
There's a Big Mac meal with Dr. Pepper?
Yeah, it's just the same.
Ooh, I'll take it. Hey, if you want to get us some food too, you go right ahead.
Station. What's up?
Dude, I got to do some comfort food, man. I'm trying to control myself. This kid didn't even know he was on the radio.
That's perfect, John. That's perfect. We love you, man.
Listen, I love you guys too. Listen, is there any way we can have like a a gentleman's agreement. I want the best for Malik. I am going to root for him unless he goes to the Vikings. I mean, do we have any option of like a gentleman's agreement maybe with him, seeing as we gave him the opportunity? And guys, to what your last point was,
hold on, John, hold on a second, Mason. As a professional athlete, is it your job to do what's right for your old team that you're leaving, or are you looking to make bank?
Yeah, I mean, I wish that was the case, but they don't care about it, the players that way. So he's going to go where he gets paid and he gets a chance to play, which I think he's earned that. I mean, Malik has earned that at this point, and I think he's endeared himself to the fan base and everybody. Like the way,
like John said, John's going to cheer for him.
Yeah, like how he held himself accountable and how he goes out and like steps in when he needs to. That's the type of guy that you can root for regardless of what team he's on.
And what was the last point there, John, on Josh Jacobs?
Not on Josh Jacobs.
Sorry, what was it?
Get me started with that.
Come on, Tommy.
My God. The team is a reflection of its coach. Okay. And when you're getting dumped down the field, when you know what's coming, I mean, it was embarrassing. I understand we got injuries, but Brooks was the only one that was up there manning up. He wasn't the only one, but he stood out to me. He held himself pretty damn well. But man, this team's got a lot of things to fix in the offseason. I know they have a lot of talent, but the things they have a number of things they have to shore up.
Yeah, thanks for the call, John.
Yeah, thanks, John.
Thanks, John. Yeah, a lot to get to. We've got a lot to get to on the show today. We've got a great text that just came in about where Matt LaFleur and Malik Willis, maybe they should go somewhere together next year. I love the creativity of a team, of the fan base of a team that was 9-3-1 and is now 9-6-1 and not happy about it. And you shouldn't be. It's okay to not be happy, right? Yeah, it does, Mason. He's Mason Crosby. He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. We are the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of our Green Bay Packers. For those of you on YouTube, I apologize. You do not get the dulcet tones of Boys to Men bringing us back as they are on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. How does this Packers defense get fixed? Is it salvageable with all the injuries? Jacob Morley of the Packer Report will let us know when he joins Wisconsin Sports Daily this afternoon at 2:20 with Sparky on the Wisconsin Sports Network. I'm Mitch Nellis. Mason Crosby, Tommy Wirtz are here. We're taking your calls. We're taking your texts. We know we've got people on the line, 414-677-1250. But Mason, I just had to jump into this text message for you right away. Pretty boy LaFleur and Willis will be a perfect fit in Miami next season.
Man, that's crazy. Like, it's crazy to think that, I don't know what Tua's contract looks like, but I mean, obviously them benching him does not look
it's
good.
Huge, but it's huge, but there are rumors that they're willing to take that hit.
Yeah,
they
really shouldn't cut him next year. They'd have to wait one more year.
Just do a Kirk Cousins situation and he just stays on the roster. You bring in somebody.
Yeah, it's kind of a dumpster fire down there.
You just go total dysfunction down there.
Malik would look sick in those all black uniforms. He would look sick.
He would look
with
the aqua trim.
Yeah,
with the aqua trim,
super drippy, super.
And
drippy.
that wouldn't affect the Packers. Then it wouldn't come back to bite the Packers in the butt. It'd be all good.
God. Can't let him stay in the division because he'll cook us. You already know that.
Don't let him stay in the division.
Send him to the AFC because it's Malik Willis, Oh, my God. What a loser organization.
He's going to the Jets. He's the next great quarterback, Packer quarterback to go to the Jets. Isn't that the great?
Mason, bravo.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Thank you.
Troll Crosby.
Troll Crosby coming in hot. Let's go.
Let's head back out to the Nicolay. Go ahead.
We're the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Tommy, let's get some callers.
Eric in Watertown, you're next up here on the Mason Crosby Show. What's up, Eric?
Hey, gentlemen. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What's up,
Eric?
I think everybody needs to just calm down a little bit.
Okay.
I listen to the radio every day, and
Same.
I don't know of anybody that predicted Green Bay to be more than 10-7 this year.
I did.
So as far as
I know a lot of people who did, Eric.
Not that I heard. Well, I mean, I'm probably
once they got Micah.
Well,
And
Eric, another positive for you, Eric. Who thought they were going to 4-2 in the division? Everyone would have taken that out of Green Bay this year, right?
Sure. And you're right. After we get Parsons, whole different ball game. That's a game changer. As far as the defense, I say let the season play out. See what we do against Minnesota. See what we do in the playoffs. I don't want to say conspiracy theory, but you've got Pittsburgh losing to Cleveland. You've got Baltimore beating us. Look at all these games that are determined a division. I mean, I could easily say, hey, we're already in. We're on autopilot. Let's see what happens in the playoffs, then revisit it. Who are you going to get to replace LaFleur anyway? Who's out there? Nobody.
Bill Belichick says via Tran. Yeah, via Tran on YouTube says time to bring in Bill Belichick to Titletown. Let's go.
Sure.
Stop.
I mean, I just don't want to throw, everybody just panicking. Let's get through the playoffs, into the playoffs, see what happens, and then reassess it then because, I mean, I don't know.
I like your mindset. I do. Hey, this is Mace Cry. I like that mindset, but we are going to dive deeper in. We're not. I don't know if we're panicking at this point. Whenever this team, the last 3 years, are the 7 seed, they wouldn't have made the playoffs. 4 years ago, 5 years ago, before this thing shifted back, shifted to the
3 straight
17.
years.
They haven't won the North in 4 years. So this thing is starting to get to a point where it's is this good enough? And I think,
and I agree. We have not improved, and that's the meter is not moving up. And you have Love in his 6th year, and the needle's not moving north. And I agree with that 100%.
All right, I appreciate you. Thanks for jumping on the Mason
I would
Crosby
love Bill Belichick in Green Bay so that the quarterback can be the second favorite Jordan yet again on the team.
That'd be amazing. Real quick, we have some breaking news of non-breaking news variety. Wisconsin quarterback Billy Edwards Jr. Was he even on the team this year? He plans to enter the transfer portal.
Oh man!
So I know. We really had our hopes with Billy Edwards Jr.
He was the hope.
Who didn't even play.
I'm so cool with everyone on a garbage team leaving that team. Like, that just, again, doesn't make any sense that you'd be like, oh, no, we're losing someone in the portal. And it's like, the team sucked. Please, the whole team.
Everyone leave. Yeah,
everyone get off the team.
People.
Does not matter. Next up, Ken in the Falls. Ken, how you doing?
Oh, Ken.
Come on, Ken.
Gentlemen, how are you?
We're good.
We've been better. We've been better.
Well, you know what, though? This was somewhat to be expected when you lose your best player on defense. However, let me kind of slow people's rolls here a little bit. Everybody's a little too nuts. The Packers really had nothing to play for here. So they're kind of in cruise control. They needed a lot of things to happen in order to move up from 7.
Not a lot of things.
And the fact of the matter is most of that was not going to happen. But with that being said,
it's already happening though, Ken.
All they needed were the Bears to lose 2 games, and they win both of theirs, and they win the division and get the 2 seed.
Okay, now with that being said, to make my point,
I will ignore you and make my point. Yes. With that being said, I will ignore you and facts, and I will make my point.
All right, kid, let's hear your point. I want to hear what you have to say.
Here, there was a guy that was missing for most of Saturday night on defense. You know his name? Oh yeah, I can tell you his number 52.
Oh yeah,
he wasn't around. He wasn't around at all, was he? Now,
Tommy, did you reach out to anyone that might have ever called in and have them bring these comments?
I have a Rashawn Gary rant ready.
Hold on.
Yeah.
But,
all right, kid, go ahead.
But my point is with the defense. You know, when you look at our in the Chicago game, they held them to under 10 points for 58 minutes. This defense can play without Parsons. This defense was a top defense last year without Parsons. So what's happening right now, in my opinion, is simply that I think LaFleur and his coaching staff, what they really, really, really need to evaluate here is as they go into the playoffs, especially with this week coming up, and it needs to really be a week of rest for guys that are injured, so to speak. You can't sit everybody, so you're going to have to play guys. But from a standpoint of a team, okay, when you get chemistry and unity, this is where the coaching staff and the players, and Mason, you know this better than anybody else, players have to speak amongst themselves in all 3 areas here, special teams, defense, offense. You guys got to get together and say, look, we have more than a shot with the parity in the league this year. Any team can come in and win this Super Bowl. We have an opportunity. We've shown the ability to play great in all 3 phases. We didn't win 9 games by chance. With that being said, it's time for these guys to get off their backside and get ready for the playoffs. Can LaFleur coach these guys up? That's the question. When you guys asked the question back in the beginning of this season, who should we be watching out for? My answer was simple. LaFleur. It was LaFleur, and it still is LaFleur. How can LaFleur?
You're not wrong, Ken.
Yeah, how can LaFleur bring his coaching staff together to rally his guys to start showing how really good they are? They're going to have that opportunity in 2 weeks, and prior to that, they need to do some things this week as they get ready for the playoffs, because this team can shock everybody in the playoffs. Jordan Love, all this nonsense about Willis. If everybody wanted Willis so much, they had 3 years to get him.
Mm-hmm.
That's all garbage. I don't want to hear any of this crap about Willis.
Yeah,
your guy is Jordan Love. You paid the money for him. He's shown he can run the team. He's shown his ability to run this team on offense. And damn it, it's time that you stay with this guy. Fans, get off this nonsense about Willis.
They're not. Jordan Love is not going anywhere. Like even just from a numbers standpoint, like you cannot move on from Jordan Love. And
hold on, Mason. We have on the text line, love to the Raiders for Crosby, a defensive lineman, and the number 1 pick.
Yeah,
you might as well do that.
Yeah,
right?
Kick those tires. Let's see, like, what are those cap implications? I mean, that would be insanity.
Ken, thanks for the call.
Thanks, Ken.
One more guy here. We got Randy in Grafton. Randy, you're on the Mason Crosby Show.
What's up, Blackhawks?
Yeah, I guess, wouldn't you say, unlike in the past, the sense of urgency that any fan could have is in fact represented by the money and draft choices given up, and in fact, a window has been created, and therefore the corresponding sense of urgency for the fans to feel, given the money spent in draft choices invested per Love and Micah Parsons. And that's something we haven't faced in the past.
Yeah, they went in. They went in this year. They went for it this year, and yeah, you can say, okay, Micah Parsons played pretty much a full year before he got hurt. Now their defense kind of, in a sense, last game they looked pedestrian without him out there. But what I was going to say to Ken, our last call, I'm like, in week 18, you can do all you want, but you cannot coach and teach toughness. They're not going to get out there and do Oklahoma drill. They're not going to get out there and be like, oh my gosh, now all of a sudden we're going to be this gritty, grindy, tough team. Like that comes through the offseason, that comes through the players you bring in, your acquisition, all that stuff. So this is an offseason that is going to be really important with the direction of this football program and this organization, because this team needs to get tougher. Like I'm still watching this game from Saturday night, and I mean, they're just getting blown up. I mean, it's like Derrick Henry's, he's run straight up. Like, he's huge, but it's like, just dive at his legs then. But it's like, if you got stood up, then our guys are getting pushed 2 or 3 yards back. And there's not four or five guys trying to just take shots and hit. So I don't know. And then, we didn't go and get the right guys at corner. We didn't shore up some different things. So there's a few misses this year. And I think Tommy's spot on. Like, Micah Parsons, unbelievable. More than a Band-Aid, obviously.
I think more than a Band-Aid, Tommy.
But he clogged up and he duct taped up a lot of things that were hiding there. So I have some other questions about Hafley and are his head coaching kind of credentials taking a shot here these last few weeks?
So that's a great question. I have another question for you, Mason. And it's more about the mental taxing of a season. Okay. You get to Denver, and I'm going to ask you the question, and then we'll answer it on the other side. You get to Denver, and Parsons gets hurt. You have some other injuries, and you blow that game. You then rally around Micah's out. We're going to shut down the Bears. You shut down the Bears, and you blow that game.
Yeah.
How mentally taxing are those 2 losses coming into Saturday night, where, as much as you want to talk the talk, you just don't have it right now. You just and it's so I want to get into that, and let's get into Jeff Hafley, and let's get into how amazing I am at making picks when we come back. This is the Mason Crosby Show. He's Mason. Tommy Wirtz is here. I'm Mitch Nellis, aka Thunder. We are the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. I've come to talk with you again because incisions were flea creeping. This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon. I'm Mitch Nellis, bringing you in with the sounds of silence, not Simon and Garfunkel. But is that Aaron Lewis of Stained? Or
That's Disturbed.
Oh, Disturbed.
Yeah.
Disturbed.
Yeah, I know.
Similar. Yeah,
I am
a good
disturbed now.
yeah, as we all should be. He's Mason Crosby. Tommy Wirtz is here as well. And Bobato writes in right away on cue in YouTube. When they drafted Gary, one of his downfalls was they said he can be lazy. He says, we see it now. No, we know it now. Mason, what do you do? You know,
I should have gotten
with the
Tommy
Rashawn Gary.
a Rashawn Gary jersey.
Dude, my biggest regret is switching up on that take. Like I tried.
You did. You jumped ship. You're
tried.
like, Rashawn Gary.
I tried. I was on his hate. I was hating. I was drinking the hater Kool-Aid. I had it. Then through 8 weeks, he had 7.5 sacks, and I was like, okay, maybe he's okay. And then he hasn't had a sack since I said something nice about him.
How does that? I don't quite understand that. Like, how do you not get another sack?
Well, and
in these last eight
at
or 9 games?
That's literally your job.
There are 4 things it can be, right? And we've said 3 of them already. The 4th one is health. The other 3 are effort, energy, and attitude at this point for Rashawn Gary.
But now he's just like, I mean, they're taking him off the field in like critical situations.
Good.
Like, it's wild. Oh gosh, I just saw the Malik Willis, like the Sean Ryan snap into his face mask. I'm just gonna go. I don't know. I'm drinking coffee right now, but maybe I need something stronger.
I don't want
little Kahlua in there, Mason.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to Mason and be calling for people's jobs because he knows the space and I don't. Yep. But man, Rashawn Gary, I'm shaking in my boots if I don't get a sack next week. I'm just saying.
You don't even need to be. You don't even need to be.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he doesn't know like the situation, but again, what's tough there is he's talented, he's athletic, he's got all the tangible things that you want in a football player. So it's like he's going to be on a team, even if it's
he'll
not
be on
Green
a
Bay,
team next
but
year.
that number needs to come down. Like the expectation with that payday brings is going to change because it's just like, well, you just have not earned that number.
Did you guys see the line over at Potawatomi Sportsbook for Week 18?
I have not looked at. No.
Did you see it, Mitch?
Packers at Vikings. I did not see it. So
are Vikings favored?
If you want to guess, go ahead. Yeah, you guys will.
Packers
minus
3.5. 3.5.
Packers minus 3.5, and that's what you're in the same area, Mason. Is that what I heard?
I said 12.5.
Yeah, the Packers are 6.5 point underdogs in this game.
Oh no! Way.
So you better get ready for Clayton Tune because that's what that means, right?
That's what that means.
That's what that means.
I mean, that might be the one silver lining with how all this unfolded is you basically get to take a bye week.
Yeah,
this week and like rest some of the guys that are dinged up and some things and try to get them back.
So, Tommy, can you already put on tomorrow's rundown? I want to talk about whether Jordan Love should play and how much he should play.
Yep.
I don't want to talk about that today, though.
Got it.
Like, that's a tomorrow conversation.
We have a couple of minutes here. We have if Mitch Nellis wasn't on a generational run of picks, we would skip this today. But
what? I'm so good.
We all picked the Lions. That was great.
Yeah.
Great. Me and Mason.
Again, a desperate team needing a win, didn't get a win.
Yeah.
So it doesn't always happen.
It doesn't always
Packers
happen.
fans.
That's
it
true.
happened to the Packers, but it doesn't always happen.
Jared Goofball, man. Oh my gosh.
That's a great name.
Tommy and Mason had the Texans. They might be good. They might
They're
be
good.
really good.
They're the type of defense that can make a run.
Mitch Nellis had the Chargers in that one. The Jags confirmed good at football.
Yeah,
the
they
Jacksonville
are.
Jaguars. 6.5 point favorites, and they won by 6 in that one. So none of us off to a great start through those 3.
No.
However, we all had the 49ers at -3. They win by 4, so they cover.
Yeah.
Tommy's Saints, I mean, they're just marching. Tyler Shuck Tyler Shuck, more production for the Saints than Rashawn Gary has given to the Packers this year.
No doubt.
As a quarterback, that's not fair.
Bills for Mitch Nellis, 1.5, and Josh Allen decided don't want to complete that pass. Mason Crosby
don't want to tie the game with an extra point.
Mason Crosby had the Steelers in his solo game. Who
I don't know what pass interference is anymore.
Didn't get that one.
He literally tackled him in the end zone.
Face guarding, like pulling him down before the ball cut. I'm like,
it's insane.
That is insanity.
Packers, we all had as well. Tommy goes 3-3. Mason goes 2-4. Mitch goes 1-5 again.
I'll take it.
Mitch,
let's go.
I'm pretty confident. Like, this is my public school math. You are 3-24 over your last 27 picks. You have not.
That's tough.
No, because I was 2-16, and then last week I won like 4.
No, last week you were 1-5 again, Mitch. You were.
So 2 weeks ago there was a week I had.
No, last
where I won
week
and got back in the first
I think you had 3. You and I were 3-3.
No, you were 3-3, and I was 4-2.
Yeah, I think
we literally did this, Tommy.
On my sheet, you are not.
Yeah, but
good.
you didn't even have your sheet last week. You were like asking me to do the math
a little bit.
Okay,
come on, dude.
Well, I'm
telling
you
had a good week
right
last
now,
week because we
missed
made the same picks and had one different, and you won that one.
Right.
Did you pick the Bears?
Yeah.
I have you as
I was right. I had the Bears over the Packers.
I went 3-3.
Oh,
and you
yeah,
went 4-2.
I have you as
you missed the week.
Here,
you
and
missed
you
the
won
week,
there.
bro.
I did miss a week. Sorry. Well, let's add 2 wins to your ledger there. You are 5 and then 30.
22.
5 and 30 over there. So
well, I was
2 and 6.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll do.
You're doing great.
It's not good. Yeah. Fade Mitch Nellis. We got 30 seconds.
Please
go ahead.
Please fade Mitch Nellis. We are the Mason Crosby Show. Mason Crosby, Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nellis, aka Thunder. Ryan Wood's going to join us around 1:30. Apparently, he runs the show now, so he gets to come on when he wants to come on.
Yeah,
I don't know who decided that.
Do
he was
what
1
you
o'clock
want,
all
Woody.
season long. Yeah, I mean the team's off today, so he's an off day. So we are the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. More of you next. Let's go.
A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey app.
Turned into a rave here on the Mason Crosby Show. If you're not joining us on YouTube or Twitter, you're wrong, because we are, we're trying to just find some joy in this joyful season of holiday. Oh, there goes Mason down the stairs. Mason just went down the stairs. I love it.
I hate this bit.
Mason, come back up. There you go. Oh, you came back up backwards.
Yeah, just getting the quads. That's how you get the quad work. You got to walk up backwards. Come on.
Like Mason Crosby, I can say is funnier than I thought he would be from watching him on TV as a 12-year-old. But
that's fair.
I didn't look funny on playing football.
Kickers are pretty stoic.
Yeah,
good kickers need to be stoic. I feel like.
The fake stairs bit it just grinds my gears every time. I just can't.
That's why the Grammaticas couldn't stick around, because they tried to be personalities, and you can't do that if you're a kicker. You got to stay even keel.
You can't say that name on this show. Grammatica. That's me. That's me.
Can't tear ACLs while you're celebrating a kick. That's an illegal play for a kicker, no doubt.
Oh, all right.
This is the Mason Crosby Show. 414-677-1250. I know we got a lot of texts on the text line. 414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law talk and text line. Arch something blah 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 Devon something on YouTube says you can chalk it down to a lack of motivation, illness, or inadequate coaching. The reality is the defense lacked the urgency to win this game. I suspect it was because the team already made the playoffs. And I get what you're saying, but they were playing for the division title. And yes, they already made the playoffs, but we saw it as we saw yesterday. And there's Bobo writing in, they were playing for the division title. What as we look at what the Steelers did and what the Lions did and what other teams did, like, there's not really a rhyme or reason. It's really about you and your team, and the Packers failed. That's it.
That's it.
Like I love when
two things can't be true in this situation.
Right. Exactly. And I love when reporters give grades, Mason, like this guy. No, like when it comes to the team grade, you either get an A or an F. Like you either won or you lost. And the Packers failed this test Saturday night. They have now failed 3 tests in a row. They do have a meaningless test coming up against the Vikings, but they're just not. Again, I go back to the eye test. It just doesn't look right. It just doesn't feel right now.
Against tough teams this year. And I'm not saying good teams, but teams that just kind of play a tougher brand of football. Cleveland Browns, Carolina Panthers, had tough defense, kind of play a hard brand of football. Denver Broncos, Chicago Bears are probably the exception. They're a little more of a finesse-ish team with how they play because of their personnel on offense, and then their defense is just opportunistic, getting turnovers. Wouldn't say they're an overly tough team, but then the Ravens just came in and stomped this team down. And I think there was a comment where on here as well where something the talking text line about this team was a top 5 defense at times under Halfley, right? Mason.
Right,
here
last
it is.
Year.
262 Mason. I believe these guys took the night off and looked horrible. However, they've shown the ability to play like a top 5 defense all season. Not these last, now they are literally middle of the pack. The last few games, now they're over 20 points a game given up. Now they're, yards rushing, yards average per rush is over 4 yards. They are kind of in that 10 to 15 in most criteria. And it's okay, so what would this team have been if Micah Parsons hadn't shown up? If they hadn't thrown everything into that, so I guess we can look at that as a positive and be happy about that. But this team might have had 7 wins, 8 wins. I don't know. They're at 9 wins now. They maybe
they might have had, But they might have had that. They might have done what they did last year. They might have gotten to 10 wins. They might, it's when you change the paradigm, it changes everybody's, again, did the defensive players soften up because they were relying on Micah, as opposed to last year when they actually had to step up?
Do you think Micah
jobs?
Parsons against that Baltimore Ravens team would have made a huge difference with how they played on offense?
No, they don't win that game with Love or Parsons.
Yeah, I mean the Ravens just physically dominated.
I'm not sure.
I don't think you can win.
But I think. Go ahead,
Mitch.
Tom.
It's just that Malik Willis played as good as you could have asked for him to play, right?
Yeah, what was he?
Sure.
19 to 21. I mean,
he was awesome.
The difference
Ran
there,
the ball well.
I don't see it. Micah Parsons, I think, just gets double teamed the entire game, and I have zero faith in anyone else to get to the quarterback, Mitch.
Yeah,
I hear what you're saying, but it's a whole different mindset coming into the game. If Jordan Love and Micah Parsons are playing in this game, it's like a whole it's not. You can't just say, "Oh, they just replaced who's playing," and it wouldn't make a difference. I think the whole butterfly effect is in effect here. Like the whole situation, the whole mindset, the whole preparation, just everything is different if they are playing in this game. I just think it's a different universe that you can't just sub out and say, "Oh, well, they wouldn't have affected it because they lost by 100 and they would have lost by 50 instead."
I just think
I'm not saying they
like
would have won. I'm just saying it's a different game.
Physically just came at you and I just don't think
it's a
this
bad
team
matchup. Yeah,
all year they got you by Micah Parsons just being disruptive. This team on defense hasn't been the more kind of physical dominant team. They are just pressure, getting Micah Parsons in different spots, Hafley being creative where he brings that pressure, being dynamic. They did stop the run early on in the season. They were good in that space, but
they were.
Yeah, they just didn't look like they wanted it. But again, there is the benefit now that you have this bye. Chicago has to play for something next week. They want to try to get that 2 seed. And all these other games are kind of playing for something, and now the Packers can kind of take a little breather, try to get guys healthy, figure this thing out, and get a plan for that next game.
Mason, do you think there's any way the Bears don't want that 2 seed and play to honestly that happens sometimes? Not that the players themselves do it, but they make the decision on who plays how much playing time, so that they kind of manipulate it so that they lose to the Lions to avoid having to play the Packers.
Let me tell you that, watching the games this weekend,
we've seen that happen.
As Chicago Bears, as the Bears, would you rather play the Packers or the Seahawks, Rams, or 49ers?
Good point. Yes.
No, thank you. No, thank you. That 49ers team, with McCaffrey, when McCaffrey's in the game, they're a different team, but with him, McCaffrey, I mean, they would have steamrolled the Packers on Saturday night, just like the Ravens did.
Good point.
McCaffrey is, he's ridiculous. It's fun to watch. Watching Henry and McCaffrey play did kind of get, going back to the Josh Jacobs stuff. I know he's been banged up. I love Josh Jacobs because he's tough. He says he tries to lead, he's a leader. He does a lot of really good things, but he just doesn't have that dynamic break the game open type of stuff like a Henry and McCaffrey have.
So Mason, do you think that's an element of that he's banged up and that he's gotten older? Because when he was on the Raiders, man, he had every 4 games he'd have a home run hit.
True, but
70-yard runs weren't out of his arsenal.
Whenever he's been, he's had some banged up, time, and he was banged up there at the Raiders some, but I think that was it was really good year, and then he kind of disappeared a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. And then that's when we got him. He had been down, he had kind of had a couple, maybe at least one down year before he came to Green Bay, reinvented himself last year, blew the doors off, and then now it's just kind of how he ran this year. It was he wasn't looking to break it open. It was just kind of stick your head in there, grind, try to get 4 or 5 yards and that kind of thing. And maybe the holes weren't as big, but it just kind of didn't feel like a guy that was trying to break the game up. McCaffrey, he's setting everyone up down the field. Like, it's
Oh, he's
crazy
amazing.
what he does.
Yeah.
The Green Bay Packers would save $40 million next year on their cap if they were to cut ties with Elton Jenkins, Rashawn Gary, and Josh Jacobs.
Okay, do you trust Brian Gutekunst to do something with that $40 million?
And I think that leads into the topic question we have here of how concerned are you with the Packers in the NFC North, in the future of the NFC North? Because this is now the longest stretch since 1998 to 2001 that the Packers have not won an NFC North title. The last time before this 4-year stretch, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were one of the teams that won an NFC North title.
I loved the Buccaneers in the North.
NFC Central, right? Wasn't it the
Central? Right.
Right.
The NFC Central. That's right.
So I am.
Which didn't make sense
Let's bring it back.
It is very concerning what the
Packers
direction of this team
would have
is.
won. Packers would have won the NFC South. Maybe they could have won the South.
Oh,
this
great,
year.
great.
Yeah.
They did lose to
tie.
Carolina,
Thanks
though,
to a
so who
tie.
knows?
Thanks
They
to a
lost
tie.
to Carolina, so who knows? I mean,
absolutely brutal. Yeah, I mean, as we look at the NFC North, and the Lions collapsed, but I still think like the Lions have an opportunity to still be good.
they're going to rebound back. Yeah,
The Vikings have shown that their defense is still pretty good. If they can figure out whether it's J.J. McCarthy or what they need to do on offense, they have all the pieces. They just need to figure out quarterback. I do think, and I know somebody, called them before and said, oh, the Bears did it with smoke and mirrors and they had an easy schedule and all that. And I agree with everything, but I do think the Bears are coming up. Like, I think I don't know if they're going to
they beat the Eagles, they beat the Packers once, and they went toe to toe with the 49ers. So
right.
Easy schedule ish. But they did beat, they played some good games.
Yeah. They won a number of games. So I don't think it's not that we think the NFC North should be easy and that the Packers should just walk through it and win. But I do wonder, as this team, as they figure out this roster with Jordan Love leading the offense, Micah Parsons, whenever he comes back, in October or whatever next year, I still think this is a team that competes for the North like they competed for the North. Listen, they were 9-3-1 in first place. Even Saturday night, they win that game. They still have a chance to win the North because they're going into week 18. They're not that far off, but it's become much more of a cluster where year in and year out, all four of these teams can win the North.
Yeah, that's true. But they've played well in the North. So this year is different than last year, right? They made the playoffs last year without with going 1-5 in the North. So
crazy.
Yeah, this is one of those where it's kind of okay, the North is going to be, tough. It's it's tit for tat. You're going there, but it's just kind of that consistency of being able to now post Aaron Rodgers, post everything. It's LaFleur's team. It's Goody's team. It's it's their time. How do they just put together a full consistent season where they have an identity and this team you're just all right, every time we face this Packers team, we know what we're getting and we're going to you want every team that comes to play you want their best shot because that means they respect what you are and that you have to go out there and do it consistently week in and week out. And there's something missing and something disjointed there, whether it's through the offseason, going through the season where something gets off and this team just finds inconsistencies throughout the course of the season that need to be addressed. And they will. Yes. That's their job. I've said this many times. Once dust settles, this season's over. They're not playing any more games. That is their job. All the way through April, May, through the summers to figure out how do we push guys? How far can we get guys to go where we're not breaking anyone? We're not getting anyone to be negative about what we're doing, but we're making sure that we can be consistent throughout the course of a season.
But Mason, do we trust them to do their job? I think that's the question. Somebody texted in over the weekend and said they haven't drafted a Pro Bowler since 2019. The offensive line, they put together a mess of an offensive line this year. They put together a mess of a defensive secondary this year, specifically cornerbacks. Do we trust them that with another offseason And maybe with $40 million in the bank, if they get rid of Jenkins and Gary and Jacobs, or at least Jenkins and Gary, like, do we trust that they'll make the right decisions, that we're not having these same conversations next year of like, hey, wrong people in wrong positions, wrong effort, wrong attitude, wrong, that it's just not fitting.
Don't forget wrong motivations. And the reason you can go back and say that is this Matthew Golden pick was so just a let's let Mark Murphy go out on top moment. It's not even funny like that. I mean, again, we are down watching this Packers team who are down so many key pieces on offense, and he is the first round wide receiver that you had to have, and you got to say it in front of the home crowd, and you haven't done it in 20 years, whatever it was. Meanwhile, the guy who was drafted 15 picks later is on the other side of the ball, torching your number one corner that you're paying $6 million, which no one pays for a number one cornerback in the NFL. This team wanted to go out with like this big show, getting Matthew Golden to be a part of this team, and it's been completely
and they didn't shore
useless.
The team up. I think, Tommy, your take again, the Micah Parsons, like all this stuff we're talking about, like you said, duct tape on a lot of things, right? This team built from like the ground up is maybe not solid, right? And it's like you had Jordan Love, you got Micah Parsons, you got stud players that are just there to try to hold this thing together. And when that tape starts ripping and those leaks start coming, and you can't get that what's the leak proof stuff that you throw on
Flex Seal.
Flex Seal, yeah. We need the Flex Seal guy in the boat, doing his stuff. Cut that boat in half. That's what's going on here. And like you were spot on with it, where it's just like now we're seeing those cracks and those leaks happening. And it's like this team is a front running team that had they have star power, but not like a lot of depth there. And that's the only way you can win in this league. You have to build that thing from the ground up. Your least player has to be closer to those top guys than like as far away as they are right now on this team.
Yeah, I still think the Matthew Golden thing is weird to me because I still think he's like a decent player. I still think he's good. It just hasn't translated.
Well, I'm watching watching that game last night, 49ers versus Bears.
Yeah.
Who on the 49ers receiving core, Pearsall runs great route. Like he's a great
Pearsall runs
good young
great
receiver.
Routes.
Like
Juwan
that one
Juwan Jennings is really good.
Yeah, whenever he's healthy, he's good. Would you say that their receivers are just hands if you just look at the guys that the Packers have on the team, what are we not doing? Do we not have somebody that a scheme or someone that can run a route like Pearsall runs a route?
Yeah, I don't think
that was supposed to be Matthew Golden. That was supposed to be some of
Dobbs.
these guys.
Does Dobbs run a route?
That route that Pearsall ran where he had the DB on skates. He went like a post corner, kind of stuck his foot in the ground and went outside. It was dirty. He's looking really good right now. But I just feel like watching a Shanahan offense versus a LaFleur offense, those guys are high level. 49ers, and they were talking about it in the broadcast. It's like we are literally going to school and learning things every week, and we have to be on our game or you won't even fit in. Right. So I think that's the difference, right? The demand where it's I am going to give you tough stuff and you better get your stuff together or you will not play on my team. You will not be a guy. And it's from the top down, demand has to get better in order to see this team take that next step. Because like you said, Mitch, they're close. It's not like this is a bad, it's not bad. They're going to be in the playoffs. There's things in front of them. But we don't want close. We want to be great. We want to chase greatness all the time. And the greatness is in those details and doing those little things and demanding all of those little things. Not holding guys' hands and be like, oh, you messed up on that play in practice, but we're going to still try it in the game, even though we didn't demand that it was done right 100 times during the week. That kind of stuff needs to step up.
Right. And even, I want to stay with this wide receiver conversation because you talked about the Niners from last night, Mason. How about the wide receiver on the other side of the field?
Yeah, Burden.
How about Burden?
So I'm talking about
that guy looks like
Right,
a vet.
yeah.
I mean, he looks good.
Tommy, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I'm just
Like
what I'm saying. That was like Matthew Golden. He was the 10 picks away from the end of the first round, plus another 17 picks later.
Yep.
They get Luther Burden, and all he does is get the football. All he does.
They have DJ Moore, who's supposed to be their
Right.
best receiver. Dunze's not playing.
Right.
Yeah, Burden steps
And
up
Burden
and is a baller.
steps up and is a stud.
We do have to. I mean, the biggest knock to this team, then, like as we were saying, the Packers team is Tucker Kraft not being available anymore because Loveland and Komet, like those guys became.
Loveland,
they were
man.
Caleb Williams, security blanket
He was
in
another stud last
critical
night.
times.
I think that the one silver lining I can get through on Tucker Kraft's injury is I don't think we realized how good Christian Watson was until Tucker Kraft was hurt. I think that Christian Watson, that's another thing. They're going to have to pay this guy because they got a bunch of dudes on their team that they can't trust to be productive on the football field. And now, instead, because Green Bay only has one guy they can do that with, they have to invest $25-30 million a year in a guy that we still don't trust to stay healthy whenever he's out there on top of it, because that's the situation they got themselves in.
Did we also not know how bad Luke Musgraves is?
That's completely.
Did he play? Did he play Saturday night?
Dude,
I saw Wiley and a lot
He
more.
didn't even have a target.
But that's because Malik Willis, I think, with how they're like scheming it up, it's like you want that extra guy blocking, let Malik kind of move and do his thing. Musgrave, he was non-existent.
No targets. No targets.
And that time of possession was crazy. Let's talk about that for one moment.
Oh, God.
And that's been a problem throughout the course of this season,
When
right?
you can't stop the run, right, Mace?
Yeah, you can't stop the run, and you're not running the ball effectively, and you're just not possessing the ball for long periods of time. You're depending on chunk plays or doing certain things. Like what was it at one point? I mean, I think in that first
33-6.
33-6. Yeah, it was just insane how long the Ravens had the ball.
Yeah, that's and again, third game of the year, Packers don't punt and lose. The rest of the NFL,
that's a crazy stat.
Packers are 0-3.
Yeah, that is a crazy stat.
The final time of position was 40-20. So the Packers caught up. Hey, the Packers caught up in the fourth quarter. So that's
they had 40 minutes of time of possession.
Yeah,
that's
tough.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal. And to be down 13.
That's Packers football.
Were they down 27-14 and they hadn't punted? Like, who has ever been in the third quarter of a football game, scored twice, is down by double, 2 possessions, and hasn't punted in a football game?
Turnover on a snap to Malik's face, turnover on downs, end of the half. You don't punt when that happens, and that's it.
27 points in the first half, 178 yards rushing. Yeah,
Mason, you coached 8th grade football.
I did, to a championship, mind you.
If you get fourth and short, can you not shotgun a handoff?
I saw everybody, and I don't know. How often did Malik Willis go under center? I'm not sure.
Never.
I don't think he probably goes under center very often.
Right. And it was but almost every time he did, it was like a messed up snap. Ryan kept snapping it into his butt. Malik Willis wasn't grabbing the ball. I don't know if Willis can't go under center.
I will say a lot of these young guys, just from no joking aside, 8th grade football, we could not take a snap under center. I think young quarterbacks are not learning how to take snaps under center. They just do it maybe if you kneel it down, but we literally had to shotgun snap and kneel downs at the end of the game, which was nerve-wracking.
Get your hands in there.
Championship game, we're up 7 points to kneel it out, and guy snaps the ball over his head.
Yeah, right.
He has to dive on it, and luckily we ended up closing it out, but so crazy that we can't. Some guys they just don't practice it.
Yeah, you got to figure that out. Ryan Wood, Green Bay Press Gazette. He's going to break all of this down with us. I know he joined Tommy and Sparky on the post-game show after the game on Saturday night. He will join us next right here on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. This is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon. Just getting into it. Real quick, Mason wanted to let you know that the first fan returns are available for the NBA All-Star voting. Luka Doncic in the West and Giannis Antetokounmpo are your vote leaders with the first fan vote. I don't know if you saw Giannis's dunk 2 nights ago in Chicago. We'll get to that tomorrow.
Good to have him back.
Some Bucks are playing the Hornets tonight at 6, so we'll talk about that tomorrow. But joining us now on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law, one call, that's all, is Mr. Holidays himself, Ryan Wood. What's up, Woody?
Happy New Year, guys. How we doing?
I've never called you Woody before, and I don't like it. I got to be honest.
The old woodpecker. How's it going?
Hey, you got that from John too now, didn't you?
Yeah. That was Tommy.
Yeah.
That's all I can call you now. But you're not as festive now. Is that because just Christmas is over, or is it because something to do with this game on Saturday night?
I have a really short shelf life when it comes to Christmas. Like, I'll get excited around December 20th. And then once it's December 26th, I'm like, okay, I'll see you next year. Right? Like, It's just Christmas Eve's great. Christmas is great. But once it's over, it's on to the next thing. I like New Year's Eve. I also like eggnog and bourbon, so that's a good reason I like New Year's Eve. But no, it is what it is.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's dive into this game on Saturday. I just like last week, I'm rewatching it and just kind of realizing that I hate myself by doing that. But just watching Derrick Henry just dismantle this defense. What did you see there? And do you think there was anything like they could have done differently to stop a man like that? Would Micah Parsons have helped in this situation? Just talk about what this dismantling of this Packers defense was on Saturday night.
It's a sliding scale of blame for me, and I don't know what percent of the pie chart it is, but they were out physical. They were out talented. They did not have their superstar. The Ravens did in Derrick Henry, and they showed up without any fight at all. Like they at some point there needed to be pride, and there was no pride on that defense. And if you don't believe me, just listen to what Javon Bullard and Lucas Van Ness said after the game. Right? They took themselves to task because they did not show professional effort as a collective whole. But also, I don't know that it would have mattered if they did, because Micah Parsons, don't get me wrong, he means everything. He meant everything to that defense. They missed Devontae Wyatt even more against the Ravens. And it's just the reality of when you execute a blockbuster trade 1 week before the season, knowing that you're taking on some risks to get a massive reward, the reward being a generational pass rusher, the risk being all of a sudden you didn't just send 2 first-round picks to the Dallas Cowboys. You sent Kenny Clark. Yep. And you sent your depth, your interior defensive line depth to Dallas along with Kenny Clark. The one position that they could not have significant injuries this season was defensive line. And since then, they've lost Devontae Wyatt and Micah Parsons. They're 2 best defensive linemen. I don't know what amount of coaching, what amount of roster moves can make up for that, because it's not like you're going to replace that talent midway through the season. Those guys aren't available in December. It is what it is.
Yeah. So just that leverage of bringing Micah Parsons, just stripping depth from a defensive front that was kind of thin anyways, because you lost TJ Slayton, you lost some guys there as well. And I said this earlier, just this team from that Micah Parsons trade from the very beginning, when they went in with him, but they were top heavy, and the depth of this team was has been pretty light throughout the course of the season, and we've seen that. When injuries, when different things are happening, this team just doesn't have the depth to hang with a tough physical team like the Baltimore Ravens. Like,
what I don't understand? You know what I don't understand is it took till week 17 to realize that the way to beat this defense, with or without Devontae Wyatt and Micah Parsons, frankly, is to just line up and run it right at them. It's been that way all year, but we've seen the Detroit Lions twice this season try to go sideline to sideline with Jahmyr Gibbs. We've seen Ben Johnson twice this season get into a 4th and 1 and get way too cute. There's no need for that. I don't know why it took week 17 to realize, hey, just ground and pound them. That is where they're weak. This defense has way too much speed to get cute or go sideline to sideline on the second and third level. That even when the Baltimore Ravens had a handful of perimeter runs, that's when the Packers' run defense looked okay. But they don't have the strength inside to deal with that type of physical run game. And it's been like that all year.
Didn't Cleveland and Carolina show everybody that?
Yeah. Rico Dowdle, right? It's second and 10. You think that they're going to throw at the end of the game. Nope. 19 yards, Rico Dowdle right up the middle. How has that not been repetitive week in and week out? We all expected that to be something that opponents tried to do to mitigate the pass rush of Micah Parsons, to not have to test Xavier McKinney on the back end. We all expected that going into week one, and we barely have seen it. And when we do, you see what happens.
All right. Well, we got Ryan Wood on the Mason Crosby Show here. We're talking about the Ravens game. We're going to talk about upcoming game this weekend. But let's go to the offense. And Malik Willis obviously steps in. I think he started the game 8 for 8. Did everything that you hoped he would do, right? So I want to just talk about that. Obviously, the fans, everybody, oh man, like, should Malik Willis be our guy? Should, all this stuff, like, put that to rest, right? And then, just talk though. I do want to hear your thoughts on, like, where do you think Malik Willis will be, in April and March, whenever free agency comes, because somebody's going to take a chance on him.
Yeah. I mean, the Miami Dolphins, maybe, there's
all the Raiders,
the Raiders, maybe, although they might have the number one pick. They might want to go that route, but there's going to be teams in a league that has a dearth of quality quarterbacks that look at what Malik Willis is doing and think, that's the guy. Let's get him in. Let's teach him our system. Let's let him make plays with his arm and his legs. And the fact that now we've seen Malik Willis consistently do it with the arm, he can make any throw on the planet. I thought it was a showcase against the Ravens. And it's a pedestrian defense. They're not great. They're not terrible either. And he made every throw you could possibly want from a starting quarterback, including the throw he got injured on, which is, for anyone that knows the quarterback position, the number one throw you've got to be able to make routinely is that hatch mark to opposite sideline out route. You have got to be able to have the arm strength to rip and fire. It's one of the most demanding throws in this game, especially as often as basic as it is in any playbook. And even with a bum shoulder, he injured his shoulder on the play. He fired it to Christian Watson. I mean, he showed right there he can make any, as Matt LaFleur said, he can make any throw on the planet. And oh, by the way, he also knows how to use his legs. He had 2 rushing touchdowns against the Ravens. I thought it was pretty significant that when he got out of the pocket to use his legs, if he wasn't getting into the end zone, he was sliding. He wasn't taking hits. That's the big knock on Malik Willis over a 17-game season is, can he keep himself healthy with the way he plays? He knows how to slot. Like he has the awareness. He
doesn't seem to be reckless.
He's not Jackson Dart. Right.
Yeah, it's curious. Like, you look at this weekend's games, and it was like it was the weekend of teams where they're like quarterbacks, especially late in the season. You need your quarterback every once in a while, as maybe you're depleted at receiver, or the weather's breaking down. You can't make all the throws whenever it's 25 degrees. You got to get some stuff going with your legs, right? It's like, it looked like that game last night. Caleb Williams and Brock Purdy, extending plays, finding ways to get guys open with their movement. So I'm really like, it's going to be curious to see where Malik Willis goes. And I think what he's done for the Packer fan base, I think he's going to have fans following where he goes, because he's just done such an excellent job here. So it's going to be exciting to see what his path ends up being.
Ryan, are we going to see Malik Willis in week 18, or is that going to be Clayton Tune based on the opening line over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook?
If Jordan Love clears concussion protocol, it better be Jordan Love. You can't shut him down 2.5 weeks before the playoffs and then go trot him out for a playoff game and expect him to not have any amount of rust in a do or die game for the season. Like, their best chance of doing anything as far as a postseason run or even winning a playoff game at this point with that defense is for Jordan Love to be hot. Jordan Love is not going to be hot if he hasn't played in 2.5 weeks. So that is the priority this week. And I understand it's a meaningless game, but getting Jordan Love hot going into the postseason is the furthest thing from meaningless. That has got to be the priority.
Yeah, I like that take. I like that take a lot. I mean, we had someone call in earlier, it's like, oh, well, it wouldn't have mattered. I mean, what's crazy to think is that, obviously the Ravens were playing for their playoff, hopes and life in their division, but Packers win that game. Chicago did lose. Like, this weekend could have lined up exactly how everyone hoped it would. But now, Packers get a bye week to be able to kind of get fresh, rest guys that really need rest. What do you expect to see against this Minnesota Vikings team heading into the playoff season here?
Yeah, well, let's start with who we don't expect. I don't know why in the world you trot Josh Jacobs out there. Like, I'm sure he wants.
Well, they barely did against the Ravens, so
yeah, I'm sure he wants to get 1,000 yards. He's talked about playing for personal goals, but this is it's a great chance to just give him a week because there's nothing to gain from him playing as a team. So just get him ready for the postseason. Evan Williams, we'll see. I don't know how he came out of the game with the knee injury. If it's any question at all, why put him out there? Guys like that. This is a great week to maybe try to focus more on Matthew Golden because his development still matters. There's nothing to gain as far as putting Christian Watson out there and giving him 10 targets this week. The big question to me is Zach Tom. I really don't know what they do there. On one hand, it's easy to say, well, just he's been dealing with injury since week 1. It has been the season from hell for Zach Tom. Give him the week, let him rest, get right for the playoffs. On the other hand, if you do put Jordan Love out there in a meaningless game, because it is important for him to get a momentum and rhythm going for the playoffs, you better give him the best protection you possibly can, which means Zach Tom at right tackle. So that's a really interesting decision for me, and I don't know which way they go there. I could see it both ways.
Did they address what was going on, Sean Ryan, some of the snap stuff, the can snap it into, Malik's face in that moment, especially at home? Were there any, did you get any comments from like the players on what happened there? And,
it was operational. I wasn't able to talk with Sean Ryan after the game as far as what that happened. I know that in Chicago, it was a change of the cadence and it wasn't communicated. So I don't know if that was the same issue or not, but it's just operational things. Those things happen when you are dealing with a quarterback. And I'm not putting this on Malik Willis at all. It's the operation holistically as a whole. But those things happen when you have a quarterback that you're not used to working with, right? Malik Willis has not played a ton this season, so you can expect some type of operational issues at some point.
Yeah, so I'm curious in your opinion. You covering this team for a long time, like with the way this team has played at home and like not really dominated at home. Do you feel good, or maybe not better, but do you feel good about this team going on the road in the playoffs and having a shot? Just honestly, at home sometimes this year, it's just like they haven't looked their best and they've lost. They lost some games that we feel like maybe they shouldn't have. Do you feel good about this team maybe galvanizing together and going on the road and getting a win in the playoffs?
It's hard for me to feel good about this team at all without Micah Parsons and Devontae Wyatt and Tucker Kraft. And it's given the injury state of this roster, it's hard for me to feel good about this team, whether it's at Lambeau Field, Soldier Field, Neptune. Like it just the injury situation is what it is. I left Denver 3 weeks ago thinking that this season had taken a fatal turn, and I haven't changed my mind there. Now, could they go down to Chicago and win? I absolutely think that's possible. The Bears are not a serious team as far as making an extended playoff run this season because their defense is terrible. Now, Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson can beat anybody.
Yeah.
But that Bears defense can lose to anybody, including Jordan Love and the Packers. So I think the Packers can win that game. But then a divisional round game, you're going to what? Seattle, LA?
Yeah, watching any of those NFC West teams, not much of a shot there.
No, I don't see how they maybe San Francisco. I don't see how they can possibly get enough stops in that setting to win.
Totally agree. Y'all got anything else?
He's Ryan Wood. Yep.
No, I don't. No, just I mean, we're just gonna ignore Rashawn Gary and all the other comments that we could make, I guess. Too, you know.
Well, Tommy, we don't have time for all your
I know. It's fine.
Rashawn Gary just is what it is. He's not rushing the passer near well enough. He's not playing run defense near well enough. And if that continues, there's going to be a cap savings next year. That's just it. The writing's on the wall there. There's not even much to say at this point.
Book it.
Yeah, it's just the energy,
Gary
effort, attitude
Jenkins,
we
that's
talk
a
about
lot
all the
of
time.
money.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Mitch, break us
Ryan,
down,
thank
buddy.
you so much for jumping on.
All right, take care, guys. Have a happy New Year.
Week, Ryan. Yep, you as well. Happy New Year. Ryan Wood, Green Bay Press Gazette, joining us here on the Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Mason's Extra Points are next here on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon.
Yep.
What's on Mason Crosby's mind today?
Now I'm thinking.
It's time for Extra Points, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis.
Tell me what's on your mind.
On the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Oh, Mitch, Thunder Nellis, I thought you were wearing a Vikings hat at first. I thought you was like, oh my gosh, he's fully switched. Purple Red Sox hat. If you're watching on YouTube or Twitter, check it out. That's unique.
That's one of my favorite Christmas holiday gifts of the year.
Nice.
I got a purple Red Sox hat. I'm happy about it.
Nice. I got a few new golf clubs that I gave myself. So that was nice. Molly got me, like, I don't know, she got me soap it's from Kohler, the Hollyhock, which is really nice, but I was like, man, I can take a hint. I got some new UGG boots. It was good. Yeah, good holiday, good Christmas so far. What's
you
that?
Got to protect the feet. You got to protect the feet, I guess, if you're a kicker.
Yeah, they're so nice. They're so nice. Now these are golfing feet now and pickleball feet. Oh, I got a new pickleball paddle. And we were getting after it on Christmas Day. I'm not gonna lie, this old right knee was aching on Christmas night. We played after presents on Monday in the morning. Went back out later that evening, beat Nolan at a one-on-one basketball. So still got it.
Let's go.
Yeah, still got it.
If you injure yourself playing pickleball after playing 20 years in the NFL and not missing a game, that's going to be a bad look for you.
I can't come back out.
That's going to be a bad look for you. Don't let that happen.
Hey, you know what? I went back out the next day because I was not injured. It was just a little sore, sore. But that's toughness right there.
That is.
Cannot talk to me about toughness. So, all right. Well, we will jump back on it tomorrow. Can't wait to talk to you boys on Tuesday. Get into this a little bit and start moving towards the new year, because after on Thursday, we're in a whole new year.
Right.
Everything's fresh and clean. Appreciate you, fellas. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Triple-double for Giannis tonight. Let's go. He's Mason Crosby. He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. We are the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, and we still believe, go Pack Go.
Go Pack Go.
I was